Welcome back to Autism for Badass Moms, where it is okay to be a true badass. I'm so excited. Actually, we're in a new studio, so this is new for me, and I'm sure this is new for my beautiful guests too. Flew and drove,
Yes.
flew and drove all the way from Vegas, y'all. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm a celebrity, but you're making me feel like I'm a celeb. Shout out to her friend who was just like, "Yep, come to New York." So let's get started. Today, we're talking about a serious topic when we Google for the first time autism. I'm so excited that we have our guest, LaNiqua, again, all the way from Vegas. And she's here to talk about the diagnosis, when she got it, the emotions that she was feeling. Her son, 10 years old, Keaton. So, LaNiqua, take our listeners and our viewers back to prior to the diagnosis, when you got the diagnosis.
The first 2 years were just amazing, like, being able to, have that little human being that you have to take
Mm-hmm.
care of for the very first time and learning the responsibilities and the process, and so but before the diagnosis, I think he was about 2 and a half when I actually started noticing he just stopped talking. So, like, he went from and we had this game we would always play, like, I would count the stairs with him, so we would walk up the stairs, and he would
Mm-hmm.
count the stairs with me. He was just very engaging, and that stopped one day, just, like, abruptly, and at first, I didn't really pay too much attention to it, so maybe, like, think within the next 1 or 2 days, I realized he stopped answering when I was calling his name,
Oh,
and
wow.
then that's really, like, when it triggered me, like, something is wrong, like, very wrong. Um, I immediately went and was looking online for, help with speech because I figured it was just speech. I'm
Mhm.
like, he started out really great. He stopped. So obviously, like, we need to kind of get back on track and
Mhm.
figure out how to do that. And so I ended up finding a local organization that did like in-home evaluations. And so I had them come in, they assessed him like playing, they assessed me talking to him. And at the end of the assessment, she was like, oh, he most definitely has speech delay.
Let me ask you a question. Some people probably would have went to their pediatrician, but you were just like, nope, we're going in action mode and we're gonna just go to the source.
Yes. I don't know why. People ask me that all the time and shit. I'm like, I have no idea why. I knew I wanted an immediate answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really good relationship with his pediatrician at the
Right.
time. Um, and even like prior to that, when I was starting to notice things like with his gut and things that he just wasn't able to like adapt to really well, I
Okay.
would mention things to her. Um, But it was more so like, "Oh, he's developing, he's growing."
Mm-hmm.
But then when that point happened, I was like, "Oh, no, I just need answers. Like, let me go straight and find." I don't like having to, like, go to a doctor and then hopefully they
Get the
send to a
referral to
specialist
another.
and then get a
Yeah.
referral, and
Okay.
I didn't wanna go that route. So I went straight to the source and got the assessment done myself, and they were like, "Yeah, he has speech delay. We can do at home or you can have it done at a community center." And I was like, "Oh, that works out even better." So I enrolled him into early childhood intervention program,
Okay.
and he was going there while I was going to work. And then they would come to him and have like special sessions with him while he was there at the intervention program. So that was our jump start. And this was all before the diagnosis.
Now, when he was getting the therapy, did you start seeing him, talk more? Did it come back?
Yes,
Okay.
our eye to eye connection came back
Mm-hmm.
because at first that wasn't happening either. And I
Okay.
noticed like even when I would pick him up, he would start being like, "Oh, mommy," like mommy. And I'm like, "Oh, yes, we're getting somewhere. Like, we're getting somewhere." He's
Mm-hmm.
talking, he's looking at me like this is going good. But then he started severely having issues like digesting what I would think is like just normal food. Like
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't have milk. I noticed wheat was a huge thing for him. And I actually went to a gastroenterologist and asked them to do like a test on him. And she did the test, but she told me that she did not think he was allergic to wheat. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay. So then I asked her to just make sure, like, so she does a prick test on his back,
Mm-hmm.
and the wheat came back inconclusive. And I had pulled out my journal to her because I had been keeping track. I'm one of them moms. I kept track. I was like, look, every day he's having this, the next day or even hours later, he's having a reaction. So she tried to, textbook say, well, that's not necessarily an allergy. It just means he's having a reaction. And I'm like, but it's severe. He's throwing up,
Oh,
like
wow.
whole GI is off track. So after she told me she didn't think he was allergic to wheat, she was like, well, if you just want to take it out of his diet, like that's okay for you to do if that makes you feel better. I said, "Okay, thank you." And we left, and I did not go back to the gastroenterologist, and I went and took him to get an assessment, and then sure enough, they were like, "Yeah, he has, mild," at the time, they were calling
Mhm.
it mild ASD is what they told me, and then I had to do a lot of my research on my own after that, but
But I feel like I would have been blown away if at first I thought it was a speech delay,
yes,
and then here
yes,
we go with the GI issues can be I mean, yeah,
and it was
serious.
erratic, like, behavior was erratic, crying, screaming, like, I couldn't go into the store without him falling on the floor, and so I knew something was wrong.
When you got the diagnosis, what were you feeling? Because it wasn't I don't think it was something that was on your radar, autism.
No,
Okay.
no, and I had honestly, I had never seen, like,
Mhm.
a child with autism. Like, I remember, like, even when I was doing BST work back in the day, I had, like, one person, one adult that I knew had autism, but I had never seen it, like, in a child or just out
Right.
in general. So, when they told me, I was like I said, "Wait, what? What is that?" And she said, "Oh, it just means, he has a cognitive delay and he's gonna, have issues eventually growing up. He not might not be as independent.
Okay.
Speech does contribute to it, and so does, gut health and all of
Mhm.
that." And I was like, "Okay." And I remember sitting in the office, like my initial thought, Rashida, was, "What did I do?
Oh.
What did I do?" Because I'm looking at him, I'm hearing the diagnosis, and I'm like, "What did I do? Like, what happened?"
So right then and there,
Yeah.
without even really fully knowing, you went to it's
Yes.
my fault.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I had did the steps, like
Mhm.
I felt like I did that initial work and my family was looking at me like I'm crazy. My mom was like, "Why are you taking him to all this stuff?" I'm like, "Something's wrong."
Mhm.
Like something is legitly wrong. And so coming from that, tackling the speech, to like getting him the help, then to hearing a totally different and what felt like to me a new diagnosis, I was
Mhm.
like, this is a whole new world. Like I've never holistically dealt with someone, especially as a child that had autism before.
Now, I would want you to be my mom because I mean, you were just like, I'm going to figure out
Y
what is going on with my child. Whatever appointments we need to make, whoever we need to see, I'm everything because
Yes.
nobody's going to tell me. And despite people saying, like, a lot of tests, why are we doing that?
Mhm.
He's probably, probably okay. Did you have family or friends kind of telling you that you're kind of,
Yes. I had actually, I lost a lot of friends just because of,
yeah.
after the diagnosis, I went through, I wanna say more of like an enclosed process where I kept us home, like, I didn't really take him out to
Mhm.
events, like, we were at home. I made sure we weren't, like, out because I also didn't know how to process everything
Yeah.
at once. Like, I went through severe depression. I thought, again, like, it was holistically my fault.
Mhm.
So, like, day in, day out, I'm, like, waking up, doing the basics, making sure he's eating, making sure he, is going to daycare, making sure I'm
Mhm.
going to work, but that's what kinda just kept me going. But at home, I'm, like, breaking down every day because it's a whole 'nother, autism kids are different. So,
Yeah.
I'm realizing, like, I couldn't at the time just go to, like, Facebook and be like, "Oh, like, is your
Mhm.
child doing the same thing my child's doing?" Because it wasn't happening like that. Like, it
Right.
was the range is so wide. And so what I was experiencing at home, I didn't have anybody really to talk to and relate to about. And then when I would, tell my parents and my, friends about it, they were just like, "Oh, okay. Oh, well, good for you. Oh, we're glad you're, doing the best you can." I actually had one friend, former friend, tell me, "Well, maybe, you're just meant to have the kid with special needs. Like, maybe that's just meant for you." Like,
She probably said it with
yeah.
serious face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Huh, okay."
It's really interesting when sometimes, things get hard and the
Yes.
things that come out of people who we, thought would
Yeah.
really be there in our hardest times. But it sounds like you just y I don't not gonna deal with
Mm.
you. I don't need the extra stress, and just that was that.
Plus, it was a lot. Yeah, a lot of GI issues. So even if I wanted to like send him to a friend's house, to get a relief or something, they didn't know how to handle it, and he didn't.
Okay.
He was very limited on what he could eat. And so I am similar to what I put in the book. I had a whole list of foods that I was like, you can absolutely give him this, but absolutely do not give him this. So it got to the point where I had friends who were like, you have a bubble kid, and I don't think I can take it.
Oh.
So yeah, it was me and him for a while.
Let's go back. When you got the diagnosis, did you just go home, Google, like,
Oh, I did.
were you in the car
I
Googling?
Googled Rashida, I Googled from the building,
Mhm.
in the car park, like in the parking lot, in the car. And then when I got home, I went in.
Mhm.
Like I literally, at this point, because I'm like researching the beginning of it and like what exactly does it mean? And then I started seeing words like, oh, it's, it could be intertwined with like ADHD or Asperger's. I'm like
Yeah.
going through the whole gambit of just the before and now, just so I can get a better understanding.
Mhm.
And so
Did you feel like you got a better understanding?
I felt like I had a lot more questions,
Yeah.
but I felt like I can at least pen to paper. And that's how my brain works. Like I have to be able to see it,
Mhm.
understand it, and then be able to write it out and know like this is exactly what it is. And
Okay.
I had to do that with his diagnosis and trying to figure out what characteristics or symptoms he had, what
Mhm.
can I navigate with, what resources are particularly like for this. Because it was weird. Like,
Mhm.
well, most kids nonverbal, but he was like very verbal then not verbal, and then came back to being a little bit verbal.
Yeah.
So I was getting questioned, like, "Oh, are you sure he has autism?" I'm like, "Well, that's what they said." Like,
Mhm.
I went there to the assessment. That's what they told me. Um, so it was just a lot of me researching every single symptom I could identify that he
Mhm.
had, and then pen to paper, like, what can I do about it?
When you were looking at well, they put down everything.
Mm.
Was there one thing that was particularly scary for you? Like you saw that, your child could potentially have this or never. Was there something where you were like, "Oh my gosh," like,
For me, it was the coupled more so like maybe lack of independence.
mhm.
That was big for me because I had plans for him.
Oh, what kind of
Oh, yes.
plans?
I wanted him. I was athletic growing up, so I had plans with Sheeta.
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, he's gonna run track like I did. He's probably gonna like basketball." Like, there was gonna be a whole lot that I was just gonna introduce him to
Yeah.
because I'm like, "He's my first child." So it's like, "Let's do this.
Mhm.
Let's do life together and figure this out." Um, those were, like, instantly shattered. 'Cause at this point, I'm like, I don't even know if he'll be able to have, like, a normal relationship. I don't
Right.
know if he'll be able to get married. I don't know if he'll grow to the stage of being able to be socially, involved enough,
Mhm.
and also he was eloping at one point too, so it was a challenge, which is another reason why we stayed home mostly. It was a challenge.
When did the depression come in?
When I became aware of it
Mhm.
was, I wanna say within days of the
Okay.
diagnosis. Like, of course, I was crying and all that when I
Mhm.
first got it, and then it went from crying to like, okay, like, what do we need to do? Straight
Right.
gear mode, like, let's fix it. But I was saying before, like, I got into a routine of just he comes home, I feed him, we eat, we go to bed. No
Mhm.
social interaction, really no social interaction. Like, I was at home,
Yeah.
work, home. And I realized that was draining me even more because
Mhm.
I wasn't used to that. And so
I can
that's
imagine when you had to take him, like, you had to take him out. Was
mhm.
there, fear? I guess we have to go. How was that experience of not being able to shelter him?
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Because I had to, and I do this all the time, I'm, like, actively trying to anticipate questions or sideway glances or, the judgment. So, even within my family, like, I was actively doing that on the way there, when we
Mhm.
get there, making sure I kept him close to me. Um, and even, like, I had some aunts and cousins sometimes, they would say things like, "Oh, like, what's going on with him?" And I would just be like, "Oh, he's fine."
So they didn't know.
They didn't know.
Okay.
And it was a challenge because the first person I did tell,
Mhm.
there wasn't that initial, like, understanding or at least, comfort with telling about the diagnosis, and so I was like, okay, I'm not telling anybody else."
Was there like you were hoping for a response, and then it just didn't
Yeah,
happen?
it didn't happen,
Yeah.
and and initially, like, in between that time frame, though, like, I, met then my now hubby. He, like, helped me kinda get through the process, and at first, it was just like, he was just like a friend that I was talking
Mhm.
to and telling him things about, and he was like, "Yeah, I noticed it in the beginning." And I was like, "Oh, you did?" Like, "Why didn't you tell me?"
Mhm. Why didn't you let me in on this?
He was like, "Yeah, I just wasn't sure how you would take it," you know? And I was in denial for a long time too, and I was in so much denial, like, speaking about friends and family, like, my godparents, so my godbrother actually has autism, and I did not connect the dots. Like, I just
Oh.
always knew he was, what we call kinda socially awkward,
Mhm.
but that was it. So, like, I grew up around him the whole time, like, not knowing, like, "Oh, that's what this looks like."
Right.
And they were like, "Yeah, we knew, but this isn't my, like, direct blood family,"
Mhm.
and which made it a little more difficult because that's who I was around all the time. So, my support only came from my godparents
Mhm.
and my honey, so
And then thinking about it, when before it became autism spectrum disorder, right?
Mhm.
It was Asperger's and
Yes.
autism. And so people didn't really, the people who were talking and seemed like, weren't doing the stimming and things like that,
Yes.
they were looked at as, they're fine. There's nothing, wrong with them. People thought of, I guess, the more profound cases.
Yes.
And so it is hard to wrap your mind around like that this is a wide
Mhm.
range, and my child will be displaying certain things. Other kids won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I struggle with the most
Yeah.
because even, like, using my godbrother as a reference, like, when I finally came out of the denial and started allowing myself to fully understand and grasp, like, what the future might look like, I realized that's kinda when I was pulling myself, like, out of that depression mode, but
Okay.
it was only because I had my godparents telling me, like, "Oh, no, we went through this." Like, he did
Mhm.
little things that were similar, and so I was able to see, like, what possibly my
Mhm.
son could look like in the characters he could have once he got to that age,
Got it.
and like, looking at him now, he's 23 years old, has a master's, and is employed, and I'm like, "Okay, like, my baby got a chance." Like,
Yeah.
it's not doomed,
Mhm.
but, even back then, like, my godbrother was going to high school and everything, and I'm like, "Okay, well, if that's what I have to," like, we have to find that comparable, relatable, like,
Mhm.
figure,
Yeah.
and I hold on to him a lot in that term. And look towards to him and his characteristics and, like, thinking, "Okay, like, this is probably what my son's gonna be like when he gets older." Because at first, to your point, that wide range, I had nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing to go back to and be like, "I'm doing everything right. These are the right steps because this was what the outcome is gonna be." I didn't have
Mhm.
that, and so I went through the process of, like, now I have to create that.
Mhm.
So I'm like, "Okay, now depression, you gotta get out the way because I have work to do."
And
So
that must I know that you isolated yourself from, the world, but it's lonely.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you don't have other people who can understand and some or be empathetic to the journey, and that you're just navigating it in a sense blind. Like I don't
Mhm.
know what's going to be next and what new behavior is going to present itself.
Yes.
Um, but that you were able that helped that he helped you to come out of that to see that my child, can and it's not gloom and doom. Like
Yes.
yeah. So that again, I'm happy that you were able to have someone, because there's
Yes.
moms out there who have no one
No
to,
one. Yes.
and we're in a different time now. We got social media, which is great. Um, Now, when you decided to branch out, and find your people, what was that like?
I
Was it a
didn't
challenge?
I didn't have the people. It's funny because I was listening to one of your podcasts last week, and you guys were talking about this too, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like that was nice. She was able to find the community because honestly, I
Mhm.
didn't find a community until I found like your Instagram account and your podcast and the community you developed.
Wow.
I didn't have a community. I
Okay.
just knew that, there were like Facebook groups that I can
Mhm.
go like look at and see and talk to people, but I didn't have a community.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I get so excited every time I'm like going through Instagram and I'm like being able to look at all the stories about the
Mhm.
other moms and listening to all the podcasts. I'm like, like I love this. Like I wish I had this in the beginning
Oh.
because at first it was just me. It was just me looking and hoping to find like those connections, but I didn't have that. I just knew that there were resources out there. I knew
Mhm.
that there was like Facebook groups that I got into where I can learn like specific things, but as far as a community, that wasn't until like what 3 years ago when I
And
first
some
moved
moms
here.
say you would think that your child's going to school and
Hmm.
you would be talking to other, parents. No?
No, he's
No.
the only one, and he's been at the same school because at first he was homeschooled, and then
Mhm.
we put him and then um our second oldest into the same charter school,
Mhm.
and that's the only location he's ever known. He's always been the only child there with autism.
How does that make you,
Mm.
feel him being
It's been challenging.
Yeah.
Even navigating that system has been challenging
Mhm.
because I also learned I have no choice. Like I got to go in and be an advocate. Like
Mhm.
I had to go in and tell them like, okay, predominantly the delay happens in speech. Like I get we want to cover all these other areas, but
Mhm.
he needs more speech time. He only was getting like 15 minutes a week.
Ooh.
So I had to go into the IEP meeting and first I looked up all my rights
Mhm.
as a parent. And, I told them like, this is a partnership
Mhm.
and I know we can get more minutes. Like he needs more time. And then we got hit with the regulation because they're only allotted, I think, like the most 30 minutes a week within our specific area in our state. And even that was a challenge because I'm like, okay, I guess I have to deal with that. But then I went out and got him a tutor. So there was days I was pulling him out of school a little early just so I can make sure he went to the tutor for like 2 times a week. And then that became a problem. Like, but you guys don't offer holistically everything we need. So then it had to be worked into the IEP that he could have that time.
How frustrating is that? Think about it, like 15
Ah,
minutes.
okay.
What gets done?
I
I mean,
mean,
and, when they're little, I mean, just to get them to sit down for, that could be like a good 5 to 7 minutes,
yes,
but 15 minutes
15.
and even the 30 minutes.
And even that's what got me because I felt like I did all the fighting, putting everything in paper like I
Mhm.
needed to. And I just knew, I'm like, all right, we're going to have like at least 45 minutes to an hour. They came back and they said, oh, we're only allotted 30 minutes.
Listen, I can go on a rant about that because as they get older,
Hmm.
and especially with like speech, you would think you'd want to really hone in on that because
Yes.
to be able to communicate, especially for, kids that are non-speaking, to communicate their needs, because what happens is they become frustrated, right? We
Yes.
would become frustrated if someone can't understand what we're trying to tell them, if I'm
Yeah.
in pain or if I'm, frustrated. And yeah, that's and it's hard because when you don't know what your rights are,
Mm.
and, you have a school saying, "You don't probably know what you're talking
Yeah.
about, and we don't know what you're talking about. Where did
Yes.
you read that?"
Yes.
But did you have people in your corner that supported you? Did
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. My wonderful husband was like there throughout the whole process at that point
Mhm.
because I'm like I didn't have anyone else to really tell me this is your role. Like you are his
Yeah.
mother. This is your role. You need to challenge and it's okay to do that. Like I didn't come from that background, like teachers, doctors, you listen. They
Yeah.
tell you something, you listen.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh no, cuz they don't have to live with him.
Mhm.
We do. They don't have to, come home and make sure everything is fine at home and handle everything else out in the
Mhm.
community as well as making sure school is fine. We do. So you need to stand up." And I'm like, "Okay."
That was huge. like,
Yeah.
and then you're probably like, "Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I
That's
felt
right."
so empowered, like, and I knew I had already, and that was one of the things that was amazing because I was like, I already was taking those steps,
Mhm.
but to have someone there, like, brand new, like we're still in the
Right.
early stages, and I'm trusting him because I'm like, okay, you sound like you make sense,
Mhm.
so, and you've been an amazing friend throughout this process, so I'm thinking to myself, wow, like, no, I need to, I can, like yeah. Like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go in there and tell them,
Yeah.
"We need more time."
And also too, it was your first child. So
Yes.
that's a whole it's new. It's not like, you
Yes.
had, 2 ahead of, him, and
Mhm.
then it was just like, "Oh, no, like, I already know this game." Like, but so you were going up against a lot of having to learn and
Yes.
be, confident in the decisions that you make.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot.
So do you feel like your advocacy has changed?
Oh, holistically.
Mhm.
I the fun part for me was I realized I was doing it and not realizing, like, that's what the word was for it, and
Mhm.
being able to put, like, a title to it, and so much so that I started actually wanting to, like, teach others how to be advocates, and that's what I did for, I wanna say, like, honestly, the last 6 years, just teaching others how to be advocates, whatever the issue was for them, because it wasn't always autism or,
Yeah.
education. Education was, like, my home field, though, because I was also a high school teacher, but I also realized how much joy and
Mhm.
fulfillment I got out of being an advocate that I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, no, I need to teach other moms how to do this. Like,
Mhm.
I need to teach anybody how to do this."
Mhm.
And so I just been fortunate enough, like, over the last 6 years to be able to do that and still see, like, the fulfillment from it. And still to this day, like, I catch myself, like, I have to advocate a little bit more because he's older now, and, but he's also old enough to make his own decisions. And
That's scary.
so
I always say just any child, scary. Like
yes, I'm like, because now it's like, "No, I don't wanna do this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm glad you're voicing your opinion because that's been a struggle getting there, so
Mhm.
I'm glad we're at that point, but now I have to teach you other things, and now I gotta go
Mhm.
advocate for other things for you at this stage." So, I can honestly say, like, my advocacy the feeling of empowerment has definitely increased,
Yeah.
and I've always been able to feed that and
Mhm.
refuel it, so I mean, we've had an amazing life in the process.
Now where he's at now and where he, in your mind, potentially thought he was gonna be, is there things that you thought he may never do? What were some of
Mhm.
those things?
Honestly, have friends.
Okay.
I thought he was not gonna be able to have friends in a sense of that, like, security and in knowing who you are
Mhm.
and being comfortable, but then also being aware of, like, the social norms. I didn't think that was gonna happen, and he fooled me. As soon as he got into, like, the early intervention, program,
Mhm.
the second time after the diagnosis, he was flourishing, like, making friends, connecting, he was, like, immediately, like, the leader in their group, and so he's over the years just continuously, like, evolved in those areas, and all the kids love him. All the kids and
Oh, that's
parents love him.
incredible.
And so that was to me, that brings me my joy. So I might not be able to get him to play basketball 100% like I wanted him to, but I know, like, socially, he got it, and that was my biggest fear.
And, that's interesting that you say that because when we get the diagnosis, any parent has dreams and, fantasies of what they
Yeah.
see their child doing, and so have you let that go, like, fully? Like, do you feel like you've, that dream of him, doing his thing?
I think I have more, and it only came about because last year now, like, still to this day, it breaks my heart. Last year, they were all supposed to go on a, like, rafting trip in Hoover Dam,
Mhm,
and I was so scared and, like, adamant about him not going because I wouldn't go with him because sometimes I would go on all the field trips with him,
mhm.
especially, like, in a different area, and Hoover Dam's, like, an hour away for us.
Oh, okay.
So, it's, like, the only dam we have out there. It's an hour away. He's going out there on a raft with other students and other teachers and parents, and I wasn't gonna be able to go, and so I stopped him from going, and that crushed his world,
Mhm.
and I literally had to, like, have a self-reflection moment, and I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I literally imposed my fears on you, not realizing like you are where you are, and you are doing a phenomenal job. And I had to literally like I had to tell myself to stop and let him be. Like, I've done the work. I can stop and I can let him be, because it just like it broke my heart. He was upset with me for 3 days. And even my husband was like, "Why didn't you let him go? Like, you're saying he can't weather the risks that all the other students are weathering at the same time."
What
And
was
I
your
was
fear?
like, so he's not 100% a swimmer.
Okay.
So, we were still like going through the process of getting them up to swim, and and I'm like, what if he falls off the raft? Nobody's paying attention to him. Like, he's one of those fluid kids. Like, he
Mhm.
likes going here and there and talking to this friend and that friend, and even in class. So I had a fear they would miss him and not pay attention to him,
Yeah.
and I do not know why, because I'm like, he's been on other field trips without me. They've always had a guide with him,
Mhm.
but on the big field trips, I would go. And this was one of those like
Big,
big
big
field
ones. Yeah.
trips. Yeah. This ain't no like you going down the street to
Mhm.
the garden like I normally do, or the movies across the street.
It's an
Like, this
hour
is
away. It's a
hour
significant.
away.
Yeah.
It's the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
Like, you're on a raft. I won't have eyes on you. And
And I'll be honest, I would have said no too.
I
Um,
was like, maybe it's just a mom thing.
yeah, I would have said
Because
no too, because what happens is we create this whole movie in our head, like he's gonna be by himself, and then nobody's gonna hear him calling, and like
yes.
we play what he's wearing down
Hmm.
to he's we do that, scare ourselves,
Hmm.
when that hasn't happened,
Yes.
you know. So he didn't get to go. There
No.
wasn't no like maybe.
No.
Okay.
And he had to watch all of his other friends and classmates leave. And when I picked him up from school, he said, "Mommy, they left me." And I was shattered, Rashida. Like, I think I cried for like 2 days straight, because I had to literally, to your point, I had to look at myself and look at him and say, okay, you are in your groove. Like, you got this.
Mhm.
And it's okay for me to like take a step back.
Since
So,
then, I don't know if has any other big trips happened where
yes.
oh, there's a lot of bass in your chest. Like,
Not with the water, but he's gone to some like huge it's like this huge aqua water museum
mhm,
type of thing he went to recently, and just I was like, I held my breath, picked him up from school, and he was telling me all about what happened. And but even that, like, I was dreaming about the possibilities
yeah,
of what could happen, and I was just like, it's okay, he's gonna be there with everyone else.
mhm.
And, yeah, because he kept saying, like, "Yeah, it's this big place. It's water, and it's aquarium, and it's other stuff." And I'm like, "I don't know how I feel about you and water, but
And then we know, like, what our children, the risk of
yes,
drowning.
it's high."
Yeah.
Oh, oh, it's so high. That was one of the things I seen in research early on, that I was just like, "Mm-mm." Like, I have to make sure you know how to swim. I'm not the best swimmer myself, so I was just like, I need to make sure you know how to swim.
Yeah.
But all those fears
Mhm.
got in the way, and, I told myself I wouldn't do that to him again.
Yeah. And so you pushed through it. You
Yes.
pushed through it. Like I said, I'm sure there's other moms out there who would be saying, and listen, y'all, like
Yeah.
if you would have let him go, you let me know. And if you wouldn't have not let him go, I bet you more people would have been like,
Yeah.
he could have been mad at me
Yeah.
for decades.
Yeah. I definitely
Uh,
wanna see the results, though, like, let her know,
we're
'cause
gonna
I
we,
wanna see.
we're gonna take a poll.
Yes. Let's
But
do the poll.
I'm with you on that. It is scary. In general, for any parent, I think
Yes.
you would think. Now, you had started getting into talking about how you turned your advocacy into helping others. So talk to our people out there about what you do. I got this book here. This book, you
Yes. So it's oh my gosh.
know?
So, the book is called Birth of an Advocate: Living Above the Spectrum. One of the things I wanted to highlight the most throughout our journey is that we're provided this spectrum
Mhm.
of what or where your child could land. And I would always at home I would always say to him, like, we're gonna live above this. We're not gonna be on base. Like, we're going to live above this. We're going to do a great job. So then that's why I named the book, Birth of an Advocate, Living Above the Spectrum. Make sure you grab a copy.
Well, let me just jump in here because for us ADHD moms, and those that have yet to be diagnosed, this is perfect in
Yes,
that sense.
short.
It is short. We got
Mm-hmm.
a crew member here,
Mm-hmm.
and he's looking at it. It's just like, this is good, and even just how the words are separated.
Yes.
I am calling. His name is Christian. He's amazing. But this is just a doable read.
Yes.
And I'm being selfish right now. I'm, talking
Yes.
to, but I'm just saying this is amazing.
Thank you. It took a lot of work. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. It took that alone, and that's a shortened version of the novel. The novel that I started with, because that took me about 2-3 years to really construct, refine, and then be okay with telling the story. Because Rashida, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I have like never been in a space where I've like 100% told my story. And so being able to do that and couple in like different experiences that I would hear like from other moms worked out perfect. And yeah, that's how the book came about.
Wow.
And that's how I chose to be able to share my story, because I've gone through like so many years of helping other moms be able to tell their stories and learn how to tell their stories, and then other parents who are like, fighting specific like education reforms and things like that. Like I've always been in a space to be able to teach them how to do that, and then having to do it for myself. Like, I can go teach you how to advocate all day, but then for me to have to do it and put like pen to paper my story, it was interesting, and there was a
It's
lot of fear.
vulnerability. Yeah.
Yeah.
And where can they find your book?
It's on Amazon.
Ooh, Amazon. And we'll definitely have it in
Yes.
the show notes, because you gotta get this book. There is no reason not to get I could read this in the
Yes,
car.
it's a coffee book. So I purposely made it small into a coffee book, because I'm like,
Wow.
information overload is a thing. I
Uh-huh.
know it's a thing for us. And
Yes.
I said I need something concise, but it also hits the points and it's relatable. And it took a while.
Is there
but
another book in your future?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
She probably
yes.
like already got the book.
Yeah.
Everything is written. Yes,
I am
it's
working
actually
on
coming
it.
out tomorrow.
Yes. It definitely will be coming.
You got to come back to the podcast when it
Yeah.
comes out. You know that, right? You
Yes.
got to.
Thank you, because I definitely would love
Yes.
to.
Now, are there other things that you are doing?
So, I've recently made a shift and being a stay-at-home mom full time, and so now I am wanting to just fully launch and be able to specifically, because like I said before, I've always had like an array of opportunity to help a lot of different like moms and parents and families in a whole bunch of areas. And I feel like now I have the opportunity to really just focus on my community, which is, badass autism
Oh,
moms. Like,
badass.
badass autism moms. Like, it's time for me to be able to 100% like indulge and give back as best as I can. And I knew like the first step of that was telling my story, which was like, I gotta do the book. At least that way I can get it out and I can feel more comfortable. So yeah, I'm actually actively working on a just advocacy coaching consulting.
Oh, that's huge.
And that's what I want to do.
That's huge.
Like, I literally had to, we're so talented and we have so many different skill sets, and I came from the corporate world, and now I'm in that space. And I'm like, this is what I want to do.
Now, are you currently building it? Are you in the process, or is it already?
So it has revamped. I had to revamp my website and everything just to kind of fine tune and create like that niche space versus what I had already been doing for so long. And so the website would actually be launched next week. So I'm excited about that.
And we'll also put that in the show notes. Yes.
So the website will be launched next week, and I have become a new friend with Calendarly. I think that's the one.
Okay.
And I told myself I'm just gonna, start setting up like 30-minute blocks for moms to just be able to come in and talk to me about their story. And what I wanted to do was I laid out a 4-step process in the book, and I want to be able to coach moms through that 4-step process.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's holistically like
Nice.
what the business is going to
You
be.
definitely have to come back on to talk
Okay.
about all that, like you just can't just drop
I
that.
know.
People are like, 4-step process. What does the force tell me?
Yeah, so again, that's why you gotta grab the book from Amazon.
Mhm.
But so within the
This is your baby's hand?
Yes. You're the
Oh.
first person that's ever like asked a question. Yes.
I asked the Oprah type questions.
Yes, he's my inspiration.
Aw.
So there is the first step, of course, which is the diagnosis. And then from the diagnosis, I listed out the process from moving to the diagnosis to the journey. And a lot of my journey was research and getting it done and just figuring out what the next steps was.
Mm.
And then I moved from that step into actually birthing myself as an advocate. And that's one of the things I like holistically love being able to see other people do. And the very last step is just sharing your story.
That's nice.
Because like how else are we gonna continue to evolve and come together as a community if we don't do those 4
Yeah,
steps? So
those 4 steps,
it's
y'all.
easy.
Yeah,
4
and,
steps.
just gifting back to that other mom.
Yes.
People don't b there's a lot of people out there who don't understand the journey, and, well, why would you put another thing on your plate? You got all this,
Mm,
but it is rewarding,
yes.
and why can't we do our own thing? Like,
Yes.
why we need to be badass and continue that, and so
I just
you
love how you
are
say that. Every time she says badass, I'm like, yes, I get to
badass.
I get to
I need to learn it in every language because we're gonna be this is be a global movement. Y'all also, tell me how you say badass. I want
Yeah.
this badass, like, just that's it. Just anybody, just let me know.
Yes.
Badassimo.
I just love that. I remember the first time I seen your podcast and I was like, I am a badass autism mom. Like,
Yeah. Puff your
that's what I
shoulders
am.
out. Yeah. You don't need no shoulder pads.
Yes.
I could talk to you for days. Where can moms find you? Because I know it's gonna be like all these moms out here, like, I need to talk to her.
Oh my gosh, yes. So my Instagram is, and I'm probably going to change it because I'm evolving within myself.
Oh,
But right now
say.
it's Lonnie Ray. So it's Lonnie Ray on Instagram. And then my actual email address was hummingbird.essentials@gmail.com. So that's the name of my company's
Can you spell
Hummingbird.
out Lonnie Ray?
Yes, it's LANIRAEE.
I don't know if anybody's told you this, but Lonnie Ray sounds like a Lifetime movie actress name. Just saying.
Look at her starting already.
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit right now. Like Lifetime, come on now.
You know, I
Find
have
her.
thought about it. I have
Yes.
definitely thought about it.
Yeah. You could do anything you want to do.
Thank
You could
you.
do anything you want to do. Because I mean, again, our kids surprise us and what they can do, and we can
Yes.
do as what we need to do.
Yes.
So that's great. Now we've come to my favorite part of the show where we get back to that other mom that is out there that is just hearing the word autism for the first time
Mm.
on some kind of search engine, whether it's Google or whatever the other search engines are, ChatGPT,
Oh,
or who knows.
yes.
I need a
So
ChatGPT
much.
to see what it says about autism, but
I made my assistant.
yeah.
I finally made one.
Oh, that's good.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT,
Yeah.
yeah. Not always the correct answers, but
Yes.
yeah. But what would you tell that mom that is probably going through a mixture of emotions?
Keep going and just keep going, honestly. Like eh, and I'll probably close it out in 3 ways. Keep going. Don't be afraid to continue learning, and you are a powerful advocate. Whether you realize it or not, whether you feel like you're just doing the work and you're not probably reaping the rewards in the beginning, keep going, continue learning, and you are definitely a powerful advocate.
Here's another isms. Like, but those are
Yes.
powerful because there are days and minutes where it is hard to keep going,
Yes.
or and advocating, when you're going up against so many systems.
Mhm.
But I mean, just hearing it from you, and you being that consultant coaching is
Yeah.
gonna help so many moms out there.
I'm excited.
That is
I hope
incredible.
so, because I've been holding on to this vision for so long, Rashida.
Well, it's here,
As
it's birth. Yeah. It's here.
Yes.
Now, my favorite other question is, what makes LaNiqua so badass?
Oh, I am not afraid to ask questions anymore.
Mm.
And there's so much to like unpack there, but if you knew me from before, I was not a person that asked a lot of questions. I was a doer by being told what to do. And I became badass when I said, I'm going to start doing, and then I'm going to start asking the questions, and you're just going to give me the answers that I need.
Oof. You're just gonna give me the answers that I need. Oh, I love
That's all
that.
I need from you. Like, I just need you to give me the answers that I need. And if you don't have the answers I need, then I need to move on to the next.
That's really badass.
I know,
That's
and it
powerful.
scares me sometimes because I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I have to.
But it's interesting how we evolve in this process that we get, I feel like we get even more badass.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it's just incredible of, like you said, you're looking at where you were,
Hmm.
one, to not really ask questions to the point is like, no, I deserve answers and I'm going to get those answers is just incredible in your growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so happy
Thank
that you came all the way from Vegas.
Thank you. I'm
I
happy I
gotta get up
made it.
there. I need to
You come on
I need
down.
to get up
Yes.
there. I need to win something. I know it's not just about winning, but
I will give you the grand tour.
oh, badass Vegas. Oh, I could see myself like traveling around, badass tour.
That will be
All my good stuff, all my good like ideas
yes.
just be popping out on the
You have
podcast.
to do
That's
it.
I don't
You
know what
have to do
happens.
it.
Then I'd be
Uh,
forgetting,
you have
badass
to
tour
do it.
coming to your neighborhood.
Absolutely. Badass tour.
Speak it
Badass
into
tour.
existence.
Oh,
Oh, badass tour.
yes.
Vegas is going to be on my tour if y'all want to fund me, and because that gets expensive.
It is. It is. It is. But it's
But
so worth it. There's so much to do there.
yeah, but incredible. I thank you so much for coming and being on the show.
Thank you for having
Yeah, you
me.
are incredible. I mean, like you said, just sharing your story and journey takes a lot.
Yes.
The vulnerability piece, but it's clear that you really want to help others out there on this journey.
Yes.
And I remember you when we the podcast got nominated for a Webby and just you voting for us. I just felt like your name was just
Yes.
popping
Yeah.
up and just like,
Because I have found my community.
yeah.
I was
So
like,
I thank you
yes.
for that as well. And so,
Alright.
she is on our website as under one of our business-minded
Oh,
autism moms.
yes.
I think we got to update it a little bit, but yeah,
Yes.
check her out. Her information will be in the show notes. And listen, this was a powerful episode. This is like the beginning,
Yeah.
where you get the diagnosis and you have no clue what things are going to look like. Finding your support system can
Mhm.
be a challenge. Looking at what it says about autism, right? It's almost like a prescription. And then you see the side effects. They got to give you all the side effects. Doesn't mean
Overload.
all those side effects are going to happen to you, but find your people. There are people out here like LaNiqua who will, like you'll travel. Shoot, you
Yes.
should traveling consultant. Just
Speak into
there's none out
existence.
there.
She keeps speaking into
I know.
existence.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Yeah. But listen, it is hard. I remember those days clearly. But our children are in a much better place now.
Yes.
Uh, it may be hard to see it, but your child will evolve into who they were meant to be. Your dreams are not totally shattered, right? Because there's so much joy in
Yes.
your child being able to do the things that you thought they wouldn't be able to, as opposed to what we want them to do.
Mhm.
So, on that note, hey, you better stay fierce, determined, and courageous. And we'll see you next Tuesday. I promise. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.